all this changing between AOC and Forgotten Empire is actually starting to get a bit interesting, but we will see how we go. We're in Forgotten Empires now, and I think if I keep saying that, we should be alright. I'm sure a lot of people have played it by now, so you should have a relative kind of feel about how the tech trees have changed, how the new civs kind of work. So if not, I can always go through that, and I probably will for a while until everyone kind of gets in what direction civs kind of start to head. But until we start seeing that, it's really going to have to be played a lot more before we can decide how all civs are going to kind of be played. Naturally, there's a few where you can think, look at the tech trees and just be like, this is what they're going to have to do, because they're pretty limited in other options. But until we've seen it played heaps, there might be some remarkable things you can do with some civs. So let's have a look who we've got. First things first, I guess this is a 1v1 AOFE game, Arabia, and I think the average rating in this game was 2.1k. So we're out of that 1.6, 1.7, 1.8 kind of thing that we were in. We've gone up to the next level of play, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys decide to play this game out, when they decide to get hunting dogs and whatnot. Saying that, Dark Knight's already opted to go lumber camp first. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, let's have a look at what we've actually got before I go any further and just keep talking about just absolute trash. Anyway, in the green, playing as the Slavs, we have VN Dark Knight. And over in the yellow, playing as the Incas, we have VN Moon Knight, I believe is playing. I believe it's Moon Knight anyway, and I believe it's Millo, I do believe, which has the same name as a popular Australian, what would I say, hot drink. In which case it will be pronounced Milo. But until then it'll be Millo, and we'll just say that because I think that's the name he's probably best known by. And I believe he's Moon Knight, not Conto. We'll see later on. Someone in the comments will correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll see. And again, opting to go lumber camp first. Thing is about this, I've got a few things I want to say about this game, and just due to what everyone else is saying. Mill first, hunting dogs, risky as hell, because these trees here, we know what you can do with straggler trees with a piece of palisade. If they get scouted early, get bit of palisade dropped on them, you're in a lot of trouble. You're not going to be able to get your lumber camp up easily. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be fun. So there's that one there, and you can see how that goes. It's kind of obvious in a way, but not. If you think about it, it's just getting that early hunting dogs. Is he got it already? Saying that, he probably will have it already. I would expect him to have it. I don't know. It depends if he's... Well, he's just got his boar in, so I'd expect him to just about have it, or have it or not. But anyway, so that's probably the first thing I want to say. At lumber camp, if you go mill first, these straggler trees can be picked off by palisade, so you've got to be really careful about that. Really, really careful. And for those who don't know what I mean, if you cut, if you cut a tree half down, you can drop a farm on top of it. Same goes for a piece of palisade. You can put that on top of it, and if you do that, you lose the tree. Your opponent can do the exact same thing to you. So going mill first, it will allow you to get a really fast drush, really fast scouts, really fast up. You can do a 17 pop up with it. I've done it, and you can get it pretty much practically flawless. That sheep's... Oh shit, that's on 90 food. But anyway, so that can really hurt if you go mill first. So be so careful of that. Saying that, luring some hunt in. So naturally, he would have got hunting dogs. This villager over here being an absolute pain could particularly... Oh, is he going to lose it? I think he's going to lose this villager. There's no other way about it. Yeah, wow. That's an interesting one. That's really going to hurt. That's going to hurt a lot. Anyway, it might have been a bit of lag. Could have been anything, really. But anyway, that's the first thing there. Mill first, extremely dangerous. Second thing is hunting dogs from the mill. Now, how you look at this, it can depend. It's going to make... I don't know if it'll make stealing a lot more common. But in a way, it's definitely going to reward stealing. Because hunting dogs 25% faster. I think it's 25, might be 20. But that much faster gathering from hunt. Stealing is going to be amazing. I don't know whether they're trying to encourage it or just make the game feel faster, because you can definitely do some pretty sick shit with hunting dogs. So that's the other thing there. And the good news is as well, we saw a game last time which had Incas in it. We saw their elite unit get used. The what am I thinking of right now? The Kamiok. We'll see if Millo decides to use it, and if he does, if it's OP, we can kind of make a decision on that. Only things being though, this was actually posted in the comments of my last video, and I completely agree with it, so I can't remember the name of who wrote it, and I feel really bad about that now. But I said it's not OP, and I don't believe it is, if you have the means to counter it, which is exactly what was said. Some civs do not have a good counter available for it right now, and this actually saying that, He's playing as Slavs, isn't he? Slavs have the worst, one of the worst archer lines I've seen. Their best archer unit is pretty much the elite skirmisher, in my opinion. But they can get crossbow, but still, that's going to be, you have to be pretty desperate to get that out. So, if you're an Imperial, saying that, we're thinking it's an Imperial war, because we want full ups on everything. That's why I'm not saying it's the best, but still, elite skirmishers will say that's what they're going to use. Could use crossbow if they want. They're pretty much focused in towards champion, paladin, siege honor, I guess, or just heavy siege. So, if Millo did decide to go for Kamyuk, the really only option that Dark Knight would have is to go siege, and that'd be Scorpion, something along those lines at any rate, to try and take them out. Because his archer line's poor, he's really focused in towards cavalry, so it's going to be hard to counter. That's the thing with the Kamyuk. We'll see how it plays out. I'm really interested to see if how champions fare up to it, especially with the splash they get from the elite tech, which I can't remember what it is right now. But Dark Knight might be able to get that, and he might be able to go champs or something. This is, of course, assuming it goes into Imperial, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not 100% sure yet. But Moon Knight's setting to take some hunt over here. Definitely a smart idea. And we'll check the maps quickly before we see anything else that's really too much. Millo going to have the gold down in the back here. Stone pretty close to his town center as well. He's got some wood in the back as well as his berries, which only have 2 villages on them because, of course, he is on hunt at the front. He split his lumber camp between the back and front. He's got another stone around up over here. Gold in the bottom corner over here. Another gold over here in the left. Both of these not being nice. Going to be kind of hard to fully saturate, so that'll be an interesting one. Looks like coming forward right now. Incas, of course, having 20% cheaper stone. Well, use of stone in buildings. So towering could be an option right now. He's going for a barrack, so he could even be going for some kind of a clue saying that, which, of course, is going to be a lot stronger now that you can get up to that Eagle Scout into Eagle Warrior, which has a little bit of extra pierce armor, has a little bit of extra health, I think. I think it's pierce armor, but still, going to be a good plan there. Dark Knight having gold on the side, berries in the back, wood in the back. Has he split his lumber? No, he has not. Starting to wall off on the front here. Not actually love this set, but still, it looks really nice, I think. Over here, and the Drush is coming in from Dark Knight. So I think we've established pretty much most of the things right now. He's on stone, so we are going to be seeing some towers by the look of the thing. Either that or a really early Kamyuk push. So those are pretty much his options right now. House coming up here, militia coming in. Might be a bit of an issue here if you can trap that villager in there. But it looks like they're going to try and disrupt this tower, which is a fair enough call. Another militia coming in as well, so of course going for that standard. Well, he's not Aztec, so I wouldn't call it the standard 5 actually. So that's an interesting choice by him, probably given to him by the fact that he managed to get hunting dogs. And men-at-arms actually, that's an interesting one. Don't generally see men-at-arms because militia aren't generally surviving long enough. How are we looking here? It looks like probably might just lose another one, depending on if the arrows all hit. Ooh, lucked out there. Looks like I'm going to try and wall off his stone. I think he might just get around to it because, of course, a man-at-arms, not the fastest unit. So he might be able to get around there. However, probably going to see a little bit of damage here, so they will be forced to repair every now and then. Saying that, though, there are towers coming up over here, and I believe we're going to turn this down because I want to see if Dark Knight actually saw that on the right past, if I can click on it. Yep, he did see that going up. Alright, and that's why we slowed it down. But we wanted to see that. Man-at-arms over here, forcing this villager to continually repair until he gets some units out. And the fact that he's got his barracks right up over here means that it's going to be a little bit harder for him to get some units back there to try and defend. Of course, unless he wants to go archery range, which is totally an option, but then again, he's not going to be able to go stable at all, because Inc is, of course, one of the new meso civs. So how are we looking over here? Tower coming up in defense, fairly normal. This side play, up to quite a few farms. Don't think he's going to be up into the castle too early. Dark Knight, no. Millo's starting, he's got a bit of a food build up, but he's not exactly building units. And he hasn't got any farms out at all actually yet. So going to be interesting to see how he decides to play this one. Could go for a forward archery. It's definitely an option from him. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. Ooh, might be able to snag this villager too if he's lucky. And I think that Eagle Scout's, yes, just going to be able to get it there. How are we going as well? Oh! And before someone gets into me about saying it's really encouraging stealers, yes, I do know that scouts, I think particularly the Eagle Warriors, Eagle Scout, now takes bonus damage from boar. I do know that. It's still going to be, a little bit more risky, but the reward if you get it back is going to be a lot bigger. Just before I forget to put that out there. Spearmen coming in from the barracks. No more barracks units in play. That villager there could potentially be sniped by the Eagle Scout. How are we looking down here? Walling off this kind of area here. The man-at-arms still pushing in, trying to do it. There's a man-at-arms back here. Looks like he's going for a pretty big man-at-arms push, honestly. Which is interesting, because we don't generally see that. But Slavs definitely have a good infantry line. They get everything except the last infantry armor from my memory. And they do get an elite tech, which causes them to cause splash damage. So that's kind of awesome. Definitely worth trying that out. So going into quite a big man-at-arms style play here, considering we don't usually see them at all. Of course, unless it's Carlos, in which case he kind of destroys with them. He does. I love his games. He does such a good job. Anyway, another tower coming up in defense here. This tower slowly pushing and keeping Dark Knight off gold, though. Quite important that he's being able to do that. It is going to prevent a lot of man-at-arms production, which is going to be really helpful if that's what he's going for. Horse Collar just finishing up now, and it looks like stone heavily for Dark Knight right now. Looks like he's going to try and stonewall off his entire base right now. What is Millo doing over here? Looks like he's going to... No, not going to get attacked by a wolf. Might be able to snag another villager. Yes, very nice. Going to be able to grab that one. Looks like these villagers over here are going to try and put up a tower in defense over here. However, they are in range of one of the towers already. Saying that, not going to be able to come in and really try and kill off these villagers because this tower over here will be defending the one that's coming up. But still, going to be able to potentially do some damage to some villagers over here. How are we looking down here? It looks like the man-at-arms have abandoned or been killed off. One or the other particularly, not exactly sure which at this point. Fairly sure they would have been killed off. I don't think they would have... Yeah, that looks like some bodies there. Looks like that tower managed to get them. Not completely sure though, but those bodies definitely do look like man-at-arm bodies. Even though they're just skeletons at this stage. Need to get my forensic skills back up. Haven't tried to do that in a long time. Losing one villager here though. Getting close to losing a second, but still in the game, so this is quite close. How are we doing back here? It looks like he's going to not be able to get back through here. Watchtower coming up here. Might see another tower thrown up in defense. No, we're going to try and actually get rid of the villagers just permanently. Of course, they are in his base. He is stonewalling himself in, so if he does get rid of these villagers right now, it means that he's not going to be any more towers coming up, which is nice, unless they come through here. In this case, this hasn't been walled. Does he know that? I would assume he would. Yeah, he does know that because of this. What's this down over here? No, his scout's just hanging out. Fair enough, on 3 HP. How are we looking? Dark Knight starting to take out this tower here. And, of course, this is going to push it into a really long game, in a way, because whenever you see tower rushing, generally it means a late kind of castle, because you spend so much villager time gathering stone. But if you transfer, like we've seen now, Millo hasn't completely gone into it. He has managed to take off stone, which is nice, and transfer some onto farms and stone by the look, and gold by the look of it from stone. So that's definitely an option there. Same thing goes for Dark Knight, though. Saying that, he nearly has the resources to up. He's just been really bad on this gold because, well, his opponent put a tower up next to it. So that's kind of expected. And it looks like he's going to go up as soon as his village is done. So that'll be nice for him. Naturally, should go knights. Doesn't exactly have the best archery in the world. So knight's going to be a good way to do that. Actually going for town watch beforehand. Probably a good idea, actually, to see... because it'll allow you to spot towers so much quicker, so definitely a good option. Over here as well, one thing we've got to remember about the Incas is their blacksmith upgrades affect villagers, so you can have some pretty mad maxed out villagers with armor. So that's kind of really sweet. Looks like Moon Knight Millo going to go for the wall off as well. Market coming up for him. How's he doing? He's actually going up right now. Whether or not he's going to go for some kind of clue, Fast Imperial into Eagle Warrior spam, Castle into, I don't know, Kamiok. Or into crossbows, potentially. He has a lot of options to be able to pull off, but the main one seems to be like he's going to be able to boom in this game, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do. His economy is starting to look like it's set out. He's got minimal on gold right now. He's got quite a few on wood. More farms coming up, so either and if we're going to see Eagle Warriors, naturally there'll be a lot more on gold than farms, because of course Eagle Warriors costing in at 20 food, 50 gold, so going to really need a few more villagers on gold to be able to keep up with that one. But it could be what the market's for. He could be trying to sell off a bunch of that wood. Definitely possible. Not going to cancel it out, but I'm going to say it looks like he's going to boom. Dark Knight. I would say the same goes for him. He's not going into heavily military production. He's got quite a few on gold, though, saying that. So he could go for a knight push. His economy's starting to shape up like a knight. He's got kind of minimal on wood here, only using them to refresh the farm. Let's actually swap over into it so we can see his resource count. But yeah, he's going to be able to put up quite a few farms, and that's probably all this wood's going to be used for. Does he have a stable yet? Doesn't look like it. He was probably going to... Oh, hey, there we go. That's what we're after. That is what we want, but his economy definitely not in the shape to go for a big boom. He doesn't exactly have a lot of wood left over, so it looks like farms and... stables are going to be the way to go here. How are we looking? Has Millo seen that? Did he see that? Ooh, That's huge. You did not see that. But he's going to see the Siege Workshop. So Knights and Siege look like they're going to be the play right now from Dark Knight. Going to be good options, of course. Slav's extremely good with both. Can upgrade them all pretty much to full. I think they can get full Siege and pretty much the full cavalry line. So that's a good option for them to go with. Kind of gold, really, really gold expensive actually. But still a good option. Knight coming in, is he going to be able to? No, decent fast wall there, of course. Wall's having a little bit less hit points until you hit castle age. Only, is he in castle saying that? I think he's in castle, isn't he? No, he's about to hit castle. 900, then up to 1,800. So, feudal pushing through walls now. It can be done. Can be done because walls only have 900 HP at that stage, I believe. So, definitely possible. Going to be able to Going to be interesting to see what people decide to come up with, because stonewalling in feudal now is going to be so much more brutal. Less HP on the walls and a lot more build time. It's going to cost you a lot more economy if you decide to wall off, so going to be interesting to see how they decide to go about that one. How are we doing? Is there anything over here? No. Blacksmith will be killed off eventually, I think. And is that a town center? No, castle. Looks like he's going straight into Kamiox. That's interesting. That is an interesting one. But Knights and Mangonels for Dark Knight. Interesting that he went straight for a castle. I can see why he would. He did have a lot of villagers on stone. He did have a lot of stone left over. He does get it 20% cheaper, so that's fair enough. But still, he really looked like he was going to boom. And saying that was a town center coming up right now. And I think he bought some stone to be able to do that. But we'll see how that goes. He has a lot of food available, so villagers aren't going to be a problem right now. We got any upgrades? No. Mangonel slowly starting to bust through this wall over here, getting the hill advantage, so it'll be a little bit quicker, which is nice, but of course the wall won't be attacking back, so no bad hill advantage there, I guess, for it. Castle coming up in defense, going to be able to pick off this Siege Workshop, and going to be an interesting option. And of course Slav's getting cheaper Siege as well. Definitely a good bonus from them. Going to be able to see how the rest of this game plays out now. Could be kind of close. Could be really, really close. And he actually has the potential here to snipe a lot of Mangonels. It's too bad he can't get any... Ooh, 3 for 1. That's actually a really good trade there for Millo. That's really going to actually score him some points. Saying that though, villagers over here could be in trouble while walling. Looks like that Mangonel should be able to range them. And we'll see how that goes. Definitely a few good options there available. But the push over on this side right now, going to be probably the big thing, keeping that villager busy, of course, outpost going up, are seeing a house come up as well. Going to be interesting to see how they decide to play it out. Really, really interesting, actually. Because, of course, Dark Knight does have this hill advantage here, which is absolutely huge, especially when using something that's got 50 attack. I believe it's 40. There we go, it's only Mangonel at this stage. But still, it's absolutely huge when you can factor in that it's 25% bonus, so could be interesting, could not be, depending how it decides to play out. Siege Workshop looks like it will get killed off by the combination of the castle and the Mangonel. Kamiox are actually out in play right now. I actually didn't see that one coming, did think it would be a full boom. It looks like he's just going for... No, he's on the 3-town center as well, so that's kind of nice as well. He's going to be able to boom and go Kamiox. Now we're looking down here, Dark Knight on 3-town center, the third one coming up here. I can hear those knights slowly taking out these barracks. Gonna force another one up for Millo if he wants to go for any kind of upgrades from them. So we're talking squires, probably being one of the big ones. Anything else worth noting? Not at the moment. Another monastery, well, a monastery coming up over here. Of course, against knights, monastery is always a good option. And here come those Kamiox. No upgrades on them yet. And it looks like they should be able to deal with this fairly quickly. They're in range, and there we go. Killing it off easily. Actually saying that, Millo's actually going Imperial. And Dark Knight is nowhere near. That's actually a really fast Imperial, considering what's happened in this game so far. The towers into this, but... Saying that, he's only on 84 population, whereas Dark Knight's on 80. So, it is kind of close, I guess. The economy, though, from Millo's been pretty good this game. Just killing off the Smith now. Going for some Scorpions could be a good idea, especially considering his opponent's going Kamiox. That's actually going to be a great idea. Looks like the Siege Workshop here not going to get killed off. That's kind of interesting. I thought he would have finished that at this stage. But I guess it's at a point where he can't keep the siege inside it, so it's still kind of destroyed in a way. Anything that comes out can pretty much be attacked by the castle. So that's going to be nice and helpful. Siege Workshop coming up on the front for Millo, going to be able to help defend himself, and those Kamioks are going to be absolutely great against those Knights. So right now, Dark Knight not in a good position. He's got Knights out, which are weak against Kamioks. And those Kamioks are not upgraded at all yet because he lost his Smith, which is fair enough. That's another town center over there, by the way, so we're up to 4. That's actually getting really high. And considering he's gone Imperial off the back of this already, Millo in a really good position. Really, really good. And there we go. Hits Imperial now. And how far behind is Dark Knight? Let's have a look. I don't think he'll even have the resources to go Imperial. No, saying that he is. That's actually a really good play, but saying that, he didn't dedicate as much to military as he was. Siege Workshop's coming up on the front right now. There's a castle as well. Might see some Bowyer. Could potentially be an option out of that. Conscription probably going to be the biggest thing. Looks like these Kamioks here going to be able to get in there. Could potentially do a little bit of damage, but saying that, Castle should be able to kill them off fairly easy, as Kamioks are quite weak to ranged attacks. And I wonder if he's going to go mass Kamiok. Putting up another castle, so it's definitely possible. Blacksmith coming up as well. We'll see if he gets infantry upgrades on his blacksmith. That's probably the way he's going to go. Kamioks. How's he doing? He did manage to get a convert for these Kamioks over here. Yep, scale mail. So it looks like he's going to be going for a fair amount of Kamioks, or at least some kind of other infantry. Elite Eagle Warriors could be an option as well, saying that. So definitely an option there, especially with couriers, giving them 10% more speed, I think. Not completely sure, I believe that's right at this stage. And going up to Oniga, if his opponent wants to go mass Scorp, Oniga, definite counter to that. You can knock out about 4 at a time if you're lucky, depending on the grouping, of course, because they just do so much damage. Of course, the Scorpion only having 40 HP. And 0 melee armor. So going to be able to absolutely destroy. It's gone up to 2 Smith. And not researching anything at either of them. And there's the chainmail on the way, so going to get that +2 armor. Forging on the way as well, so we're starting to go into double upgrades, which is going to be extremely nice for them. How are we looking on these knights? They've got the +1 and +1, so that's good in a way. Really needs the armor upgrades for him to be effective though. Especially at raiding, that 2+2 armor can be absolutely amazing. Barracks coming up, so could be trying to counter with champs. I don't know if it's going to be the best option, because of course Kamioks, if he does get the positioning advantage, Kamioks will just destroy, and if he's got upgraders advantage as well, they're going to be pretty hard to counter, because as we know, Kamioks 1 range can attack over each other's soldiers. I don't know. By the way, I've been away for New Year's, and I literally got back an hour ago, and I'm just doing a game now, so I have something to upload tonight. So I've slept like 6 hours over the past 3 days. So just for the record, if I sound absolutely stuffed, that's why. Kamioks, of course, in groups, going to be able to attack over each other's shoulders, and in case the positioning doesn't matter so much. However, for the champions coming in on this, it's going to matter huge, because if they come in like a small line, it means they're only going to be able to attack the ones on the front. However, the Kamioks from the back will be able to attack. If they can surround in a way, going to be good. If he can micro really well to keep the... He really needs to split the Kamioks up. If they're in a big group, they're going to be hard to deal with. He's going to need siege, and he can just eliminate a lot of them at the same time. It's going to be interesting to see how he decides to do it, and if they really do look overpowered. So he's got Scorpions there, and if he can split them, I guess he can go champs. Probably his best options there. So we're in the Imp War now, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do decide to play it out. Are we looking mass Kamiok still? Looks like he's not expanding into too much more. Hopefully going to use that Trebuchet to force the engagement here, which means he's going to be able to set up his line of Kamioks, and his opponent's going to have to find out a way to beat it. 2-hand swords coming out for Dark Knight right now. So it looks like he's going to have to do... Yep, he's going to have to push into this. There's no real way around it at this stage for him not to be able to push in. So he's going to have to do it. And there's couriers as well, so he's about to get a speed boost on these guys. There we go. So, going to be interesting how he decides to do this. It's going to be, it might make or break the game on how he decides to push this. So I hope he has something up his sleeve. Looks like he's going to go for those champs though. Fully upgraded, of course, minus the last armor. Hopefully got the splash damage on them. And how are the Kamioks looking? They just need that +2 attack. Is it on the way? No. Here we go. Pushing in, looks like he did just sacrifice some of his own trebuchets there. And continuing to push, continuing to push. Champions though, just wandering around, and this is the problem. They need to be microed well, that's what I was talking about. If they just walk around like that trying to get to someone, it's like attacking ranged units. They try to attack the one that's aggravated them or whatever. I'm not exactly sure how the AI works. Oh, but that's actually massive there. Look at that Scorpion line. That is perfect choke. That is actually that was a near perfect choke. That was actually really well played. But still, the way you tackle those champions, it's just you're gonna have to worry about positioning against Kamiyuk so much. It's gonna be an interesting one because it's not like you can run cavalry into them to try and put them out of place like you can with a lot of other units. Because of course they'll just absolutely destroy your cavalry. But you really need a plan to go in against them. Honestly, you can't just kind of run units at them and hope they win. Unless you've got like Arbalest or something available to you, in which case you can probably cut them down before they get too close, because they don't have any pierce armor. They've got only get the blacksmith ones. And there's blast furnace as well. So we're pretty much in late imp right now. Just seeing how well... It's really going to come down to a bit here. However, it looks like Millo's economy is a lot further ahead than his opponents right now. He's currently on 164 population compared to Dark Knight on 162. So it's pretty close. And the army sizes actually look fairly similar. However, Dark Knight just can't push into this Kamiyuk force right now. He just can't do it. Might be able to use these Scorpions here, but still those Onigers can make it hard to deal with because he can't clump up against them. Which is how Scorpions are strongest, because if they can kind of focus on a direct hit and kind of everyone hits that, can kind of one-hit a lot of units really easy. Castle there, slowly getting pushed back. Looks like this barracks as well, going to be in for a bit of trouble. This entire area will be pushed back. Not a lock is going to be able to defend it. And I don't know how he's about to come back into this right now. He's gonna really have to make a decision here and pray it works. Looks like he's gonna go mass champion. Ooh, that was a stable. I thought that were barracks. Looks like he's gonna go. What's he gonna go? Is he gonna go Hussar? Hussar against Kamiyuk is gonna get destroyed. Paladin's an option. Yeah, that one there was a barracks. That's why I thought it was. Could potentially try and raid the economy with some Hussars, but again, pushing into this that Kamiyuk line with Hussars, it's just we know how that is going to end. Champions over here, what's he gonna do? He's got this gold back here, probably a smart idea. That monk there looks like it's getting a bit annoying. And champions slowly getting just weeded away out by those Kamiyuks. How are we doing over here? Slowly taking down all these barracks. And it's starting to look like GG for Dark Knight. It looks like he's, by the scores, he's a lot under. He's about 3,500 under right now. Heavy Scorpion though, so he can defend from these Kamiyuks. It's an option, but if they get too close, so you're just going to be able to kill him off. Because of course, Scorpion's only having 50 HP and no melee armor. Saying that as well, there's Onigers out, so he's going to be able to one-hit these Scorpions really easily. Another siege workshop coming up on the front. Looks like that castle there helping to push. Another castle coming up here on the front. Looks like he intends on building nothing but Kamiyuks. How are we looking? That's a lot more barracks coming up, so it looks like, yep, champion spam, it's going to be. Hopefully he has that splash damage. He's going to be able to take out pretty much everything here with it, hopefully, if the positioning's right, and if his opponent doesn't allow it to. That will be the question. Oninger taking out 2 Scorpions there. Going to potentially take out a lot more as well. Scorpions not being able to move forward because this Oninger over here, just keeping them back really well, losing another one there. Champions dying before they manage to take out this one here. Does have the +3 range on that castle though, saying that, so it wasn't exactly too bad. Gonna try and run in with these champions. Don't know exactly what that's going to accomplish. This castle will be able to kill them off extremely easy. There are Onigers here though, so it could be trying to double just push from them. And yeah, this is not looking good right now at all for Dark Knight. If he manages, I don't know how he's going to manage to push this back. Like we said, he doesn't have a direct counter to the Kamiyuks. That's the thing. He does not have a direct counter. Scorpions, of course, are a good counter, but they're extremely hard to maneuver. But then again, I guess elite skirmishes kind of get damaged extremely badly by Onigers as well. So it's just going to be Kamiyuk Oninger is going to be really hard to counter in a way. They both close up pretty much each other's hard counters. Pushing in with these guys. Castle coming up here in defense. Don't know exactly how much it's going to help. How are we doing champion-wise? Looks like a ton of barracks being thrown up in this case. So could see a lot more champions. Onigers continuing to fight forward. More trebuchets coming in. Looks like he's going to take out the town center. Siege ram is out. And actually cutting the trees here. And somebody asked in the last video, was that did I say something wrong when I said Onigers can cut? No, I did not. Onigers can now cut. So there you go. So every civ now, I think except Huns, can cut. I think from memory, it's every civ except Huns. Trying to come in with some scouts. Again, Kamiyuks are there. Not going to be the best option. Let's actually see. Saying that one kind of just jabbed it and it died. But still, Going to be able to cut through this tree line here, so a lot of this wall going to be ineffective. Taking out this town center very slowly but surely. Looks like he's going to push up with these trebuchets in a minute. Actually, in the back over here with some camions. Naturally, they're not going to stand up too well against town center fire, but they do have that +4 armor on them, so it should be alright for the time being. Don't think they're going to be able to take it down, though. Saying that, it's only got 3 villages in there, so it's actually looking likely. We'll see there. Looks like these guys have split off from the main group. Ooh, losing a lot of his own camioks there, actually. I don't know if that was on purpose or what, but that was bad. That actually was horrible. Anyway, continuing to push in, and I think this is GG from Dark Knight. There's not really a lot he can do. Saying that, there's a hell of a lot of champions out in the field, but these Onigas might be able to flatten them really quickly. Camioks are getting rebuffed extremely quickly as well. They're just coming out of all of these castles right now. We've actually got... Ooh, looks like he's going for pikemen on the front line. He already has all those upgrades on the Camioks, so he may as well use them on the pikes as well. Pikeman is going for halberdier. Squires on the way. He didn't have squires yet. That's an interesting one. Pikeman. Halberdier, no. That sea of rams running in. And it looks like champions. Again, going to be able to push in here and kill off the rams extremely easy, because they do have a pretty high base attack of 13. And that goes all the way up to 17. If they have splash as well, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And managing to keep pushing. Looks like these rams will be taken out fairly easily. Camiok's getting gutted, of course, because they are outmassed, and they really need to be massed and positioned together for them to be really effective. How are we looking at? Looking good for Millo right now. Millo just destroying this area. Can't say Dark Knight has moved over into this area here to put up some economy, but at this point I really don't think it matters. Looks like a lot of those champs could potentially get flattened here by Onigas. But they are in their major taking. Ooh, that one there could potentially do a lot of damage to this big clump over here. Barracks slowly coming down. Dark Knight's starting to push back right now, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Another group of camioks coming in now. That's going to make it kind of hard to push for. If he sits right here, the positioning is going to be just so annoying. And yeah, the positioning on these guys is good right now. They're in a real clumped area. They're protected by these trees and the siege workshop. Pushing into that is like pushing into a group of archers, and we know how that goes. Especially cavalry archers or any kind of thing. You position those crossbows in, they can kill off a lot of knights really easily. Economy down over here, really hurt again. And Millo just starting to take such a massive score lead right now. I think that we're going to see Dark Knight throw in the towel any second. Workshop. Lots of pikes still being created. Economy for Millo looking pretty decent. Gonna be able to play with trash for the rest of the game if he wants. Battering ram is out for Dark Knight. But again, there's an Oniga out, so I can kill that off extremely easy. Which we're probably going to see in a second. No, he's not. He's gonna let the barracks go down. But then again, what's Dark Knight gonna do at this point? Not really a lot he can do to push in. And there's those camions again, going absolutely nuts. Managing to push through here. Looks like he's all good. How's Dark Knight doing for population? Down to 148. And there's the GG from Dark Knight. GGing out. Really good play by Millo on here. Camioks being a really strong unit. Don't know what's going to happen with them yet. Again, opinions in the comments are nice. I like having a nice discussion going on in the comments, as long as it's nice, of course. I always hate people calling each other shit for no fucking reason. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Keep it friendly in the chat. If you have something to say, say it. If you have an opinion on the Camiok or any of the new units, let me know. We'll see how it goes. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.